Alright, today I'm going to talk about the Battlefield 1 Open Beta and some of my impressions on it after it has ended. I've played it several times. I've played it on both Xbox One and PC. The footage you're seeing here, of course, is PC. And overall, just right off the bat, I really like the game and I'm really looking forward to it. I do think there are a few issues, though, that need to be addressed, but nothing game-breaking. There may be stuff that's potentially game-breaking, but at the moment I don't see anything game-breaking. It's not like in the Battlefront beta where everybody knew that the Empire was extremely overpowered on the Hoth map on Walker Assault. So we're not having a similar situation to that, and I'm really confident in this game. It really feels like a genuine step in the right direction for the Battlefield series, and I think it's a really bold move to go back to World War One, but I think it's a good move. Originally, I wanted them to be World War II, but actually, I'm more glad that they did World War One because World War One is not covered in very many video games, and certainly not any AAA games that I can think of off the top of my head. So I think that they've definitely made a good choice, and I think that this will benefit them, and I hope it does because if it's a good game, then it deserves good praise and sales. So let's talk about graphics. The graphics in this game are absolutely amazing. It looks great. It runs great on my new PC. The desert map, I think it was a good choice because it really shows off the visual fidelity of the game. We're not in some trench, muddy area where it's real rainy and stuff, so where everything's kind of bleak. But we're actually in a real spread out desert with a lot of color, blue skies, you know, bright sands and stuff like that. So it's really cool. And you also have effects like sandstorms and just fog in general. It gets overcast. So the graphics are great. The sound itself is amazing too. DICE has always been good at sound, but this really shows because the guns feel real, or they sound real, and there's impact to explosions. The general sound effects of the environment and everything else combined with all the guns and stuff really sounds like you're in a big war, and it does feel that way, and you kind of have the suspension of belief for a little bit, and it's really cool, especially have headphones and on war tapes mode. It's really nice, and I don't think this video does the sound justice or the graphics justice because YouTube kind of compresses that stuff. But really, if you haven't played it, which I'm sure most of you have if you've watched this, definitely I would definitely like it if you're an audiophile of any sort. But that doesn't make everything. Let's talk about the map itself. I did, you know, talk about how the map is stunning. It's gorgeous. It's really great. Although I don't know how much I like the map. And I know this is just one map in a game, so I'm not really going to rail on it too much, but it gets a little tiring because you're shot by tanks most of the time, or at least from my experience at the beginning of the match. And there's not much you can do at anti-tank wise from a distance. You have a tank rifle, but it takes several shots to really impact a tank. It's not the most effective weapon unless you have like the special tank pickup, which has a really powerful tank rifle, but even that's not like gonna take one down in one hit. So you're really, the first few minutes that I've experienced playing in the game, you're getting blown to bits by tanks. So I've heard people say this before, that armor might be overpowered. Personally, I think that it can use some tweaking, but I don't think that it's completely wrecking the game. But definitely it gets annoying being shot from across the map by armor. Sniping is also interesting. I do like the sniping, although I feel like there isn't very much bullet drop, and I felt like there was going to be more, especially these being much older guns. I feel like the bullet drop is even less than Battlefield 4, and I could be completely wrong. The math may be against me on this one, but it feels that way, and it's weird. But I didn't see any situations where I really had to compensate for major bullet drop. Although there is drag to the bullet, meaning that it takes the bullet a little bit longer to get to the target. So that's nice. But I think that there needs to be maybe a little bit more bullet drop. I don't know. But the weapon handling in and of itself is excellent. I mean, I didn't really expect it to be bad. It's Battlefield. They've mastered the formula for that. But I really liked it. The weapon handling. Pistols really feel good. They just feel really nice in your hand, I guess, if that makes sense, even though you're not holding it. Rifles, the semi-automatic rifles I really like for the medic class. And you also have I really like the machine guns that the support class have. I played around a little bit with the submachine guns. I didn't like them as much. The only times I would really use them is if I really needed to clear out some buildings in the middle of the town. But other than that, I really didn't use it. And I wanted to talk about the medic class. Because as you know, in Battlefield, the medic class has the ability to revive fallen players. Well, then this kind of has to do with the new Conquest changes. The ticket system has been removed from Conquest, and basically, if you don't know what this is, in previous Battlefield games, while you're playing the game on Conquest, you had a certain amount of tickets, and these tickets were amount of deaths that your team could have. So if, let's say you had 62 tickets, if somebody died, then you'd have 61 tickets left. And the advantage of having the medic is that they can bring a ticket back by reviving a player. Well, since there aren't any tickets, that incentive to revive a player is completely gone. And the only reason you would need to revive someone is not for tickets, but for either to get points as a medic, which isn't a crazy amount compared to Conquest captures, which are like up to like 5, aren't they like a minimum of 500 points? I'm not too sure. Or just having the convenience of teammates around you, squad mates around you. So that's a little weird. At first when I started playing, nobody would revive anybody. And I experienced this both on the Xbox and on PC. But I noticed that as the days went on, as the beta progressed further, people started to revive more and more. It's also good for the support class to give ammo. I really like what they've done with the support class. And I'm really glad that there isn't a one class does all type dynamic to it that it's had in past Battlefield games like Battlefield 3 and 4. The medic isn't the ultimate class, you know. It doesn't have an amazing assault rifle, you know, the ability to give health and revive people. You don't have one class being the dominant class. It kind of switches it up, having the rock paper scissors dynamic. However, having that rock paper scissors dynamic makes it a little frustrating getting actual weapons for your kits. I guess they have a ranking. They do. They have a new ranking system for individual classes, which is great in theory. But you find that if you're a person like me who hops from class to class, it's going to take you a while to actually unlock a new kit rank or whatever it's called. And I'm not the fastest leveler in a game anyways. I kind of go at my own pace. But I noticed that it was extremely long, and it was frustrating. I felt like I had played enough as the support to get a new machine gun, but I just didn't have enough, so I needed to play more. And there were times where I just couldn't play a support. I needed to be a medic for my squad, or I needed to be a sniper because we were at this one desert outpost. It's called Point E or something. And we needed marksmen. So I see what they're trying to do with class leveling. It's just that I don't feel... I feel like it needs to be sped up a little bit. At least for me, this is my opinion. Some of you may think it's great, which is fine, but for me, I want it to be a little bit faster. But it is better than the completely linear progression system of where, let's say you do rely on being support most of the time. Like in previous Battlefield games, you'd unlock something for the medic class, and you're like, I don't even want this. I think they've modified that over the years, but it used to be that way at some point, I believe. I may be wrong. I think it was, though. No, I don't think it was, actually. I think they've always done that, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. But anyways, just maybe make it a little bit faster. I don't know. And like I said, this is an open beta, so I'm not expecting the game to be completely balanced and completely polished. That's why they gave us the beta, to see what's balanced and what's not. But I really... overall, the balance is pretty good, It has, like I said, it has the nice rock paper scissors dynamic. Now I did play the Xbox One version because my friends are on Xbox One and I wanted to play with friends. So I really enjoyed it on the Xbox One. The controls are pretty good, but the aim assist is unbelievable. Meaning it's too much. And me and my friends agree. It's like snapping. It's weird. It snaps to a target, and it doesn't snap right on them, but it almost sets up the lead for you, so you can start taking shots. And it's crazy, and it really happens with machine guns. Support, their machine guns are really heavy hitting, and they can have a pretty good range. So when I automatically snap to somebody and they're far off, I can just hold down right trigger, and a few seconds later it'll give me the points for the kill. You know what I mean? And they're so far off. So maybe tweak the aim assist. It kind of reminds me of Battlefront's aim assist on Xbox or console, if any of you have ever played it before. But of course, PC, it's fine. It requires the precision that you would want. Melee, that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. There's a new melee system, which is cool, but it's a little bit frustrating. And I don't want to criticize it too much because I feel like the only times I really got frustrated with it was when it was used against me. But when I actually used it on someone, I felt fine. But there are times where someone's charging at you, and I had it to where I couldn't like shoot at them, and I was killed instantly. Now, this may have been a bug, or maybe I just didn't react fast enough, it's probably the latter. But it does get a little frustrating, how powerful the melee system is. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I got sick of it eventually, so that tells you how much I played. I played pretty much every chance I got because you got to soak it all up. I didn't know how long the beta was actually going to be. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that DICE seems to really have improved from Battlefront. And I know that this wasn't going to be like Battlefront, considering it's a Battlefield game. But there wasn't any, at least on PC, from what I experienced, there wasn't any huge game-breaking type bugs that we saw at the Battlefield 4 launch. I never had it crash. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it to come out in October, and I will definitely be picking it up, and you might see some more videos on it from Sir Awesome Media. So, anyways, guys, I've been Sir Awesome, and this has been a quick overall impressions of the Battlefield 1 open beta, which are probably subject to change once the full game comes out, but that's what I thought, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Adios.